In society, there are people who ordinarily do not agree with what is taking place. And these are the people who really create change. They're change makers. They bring new things. They bring out new ideas, new products. And in the process, they do change the world. They break with what exists. And if you look at history, for instance, when you go to history, you'll find that the people used to walk, then they had horses, then they have cars, they have airplanes. All these are changes that are taking place in the society that we have. But who creates this change? Who's the change maker? It's a leader. And what kind of leader is this? This is a leader who breaks with what exists. A leader who sees that we are walking and I want a car and goes out to produce a car. A leader who sees that we are having a lot of effort teaching using the chalk and goes out to bring something with the internet. These are what we call rebel leaders. Of course, the word rebel, it tends to be negative in the sense that when you look at the political aspect, who are rebel leaders? Uganda has rebel leaders, the ADF in Congo. These appear to be a problem to government. Of course, we must also accept that Museveni was a rebel leader. Why did he rebel? He rebelled against the system that existed in place. Museveni went to the bush for the reason that he did not agree with the way in which elections had been conducted by the very institution where he was, the military commission, which governed the country at that time during the elections in 1981. These elections brought Milton Obote and the UPC in government, and Museveni protested. He rebelled against the system, went to the bush, fought the system, and finally he took over the presidency in 1986. So he is a leader who rebels with the system. Now, in organizations, you may find a leader who is at the helm of the affairs and is a rebel leader, or you may find that there are rebel leaders at the lower level, at different levels in the organization. Now, you as a leader and as a leader, as a manager, it's important for you to look out for these people. They're the change makers. They're the people who see things differently. Now, rebel leaders don't usually follow rules that exist in the organization. Rebel leaders do not fit into what is taking place. Rebel leaders hate procedures, they hate the routines, and they thrive on chaos. They thrive on conditions where things need to be different. So in understanding rebel leaders, it's important to know that they could be the negative type or they could be the positives type. The negative deviant is that person who rebels against systems, but instead of helping the institution, blocks out people, becomes a very difficult person to manage. However, the positive deviants are also difficult to manage. They're difficult people, but they bring about positive change in the organization. Leadership is about the power of influence. Leadership is about the ability to inspire people to do things. But leadership is most important about seeing things that others don't see. It's about thinking differently from the situation you are in. It's about looking at opportunities where others don't see them. And when they do this is their vision. When they do this and are able to sell it to members of the organization, they create change. But it comes out of not agreeing with what exists. It comes out of not agreeing with what is taking place. It comes out of not being satisfied with what there is and knowing that there is always something that is better. So rebel leaders exist in organizations, and it's important for you to look out for them and support them. Look, they have talent, and their talent is that talent of creativity. They have that talent of thinking out new things, experimenting with them. They don't necessarily succeed all the time, but you need to identify them, support them, so that they too can succeed. So, are you a rebel leader? If you think differently, if you're the type who is not satisfied with what exists, the type who wants to try out new things, most likely you are that rebel leader. So rebel leaders are important in organizations in the sense that they bring out new things, they enable the organization to thrive, they enable the organization to survive by introducing new products, new processes, new markets, new technologies. Of course, the typical rebel leaders we've seen include people like Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, of course, Bill Gates. Now, what did these people do? Steve Jobs is literally accredited with the inventing of the personal computer. Before the personal computer, there were these huge IBM 360 machines. They would be put in rooms, a lot of air conditioning. But today your phone has more power than that huge equipment that existed then. So Steve Jobs was responsible for bringing that huge thing into what you call a PC today. And later on, Steve Jobs, who dropped out of university, revolutionized many things, bringing us many new products, the iPod, the iPad, and most important, the iPhone. The iPhone, when it was introduced, changed the way the world works. This is a smartphone today which you use and acknowledge as being one of the very, very important tools in your life. It gives you instant messages, you receive instant emails, you're able to watch YouTube, you're able to get news on Google, and all these other things that are available on the internet using the smartphone. So Steve Jobs is one such rebel who really made a big contribution to changing the world. Of course, Elon Musk, with his electric car and the desire for him to go out into space, he's creating change in the world. He's rebelling against what exists. Jeff Bezos, when he started selling goods online, people were saying, no, you won't be able to succeed. Today, Jeff Bezos is one of the richest people in the world because he has this technology that enables people to get into shops, buy without talking to anybody. As you enter, as you pick things, they are debited on your card, and you go out, it signs off. This is technology coming out of people who think differently, people who are not satisfied with what they see as exists. So we need to be able to understand that rebel leaders are positive deviants. They are necessary for organizations. They give the organization the ability to succeed in terms of new products, profits, and of course the ability to survive in terms of continuously bringing out new products that create what you call sustainable advantage. So are you a rebel leader? If you are not, can you look out for rebel leaders in your organization? Support them, nurture them, because they think differently and they bring value to the organization.